Hello, welcome to August 27th, 2023. It's a Sunday. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, an exercise that I do each and every day, a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:41 a.m. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also do this to think about the last 24 hours, including last night, to see how I did with any challenges or opportunities that I met. I also think about today, what might happen today, and how can I prepare, steel, and ready myself for whatever might come, especially the unexpected. But before any of that, let's read a poem. Today I'm going to just dive straight into one of the long poems. This is the book Complete Works of John Keats, and I had been skipping the longer poems up until now. And I feel it's such a shame to do. So what I think I'll do instead is, I've got a big one here called The Eve of St. Agnes. And what I typically do is I study the poem, highlight the vocabulary that's new, and etc., and then explain it. Instead of doing any of that, I'm just going to dive right in and read the poem. Can I read the whole thing? How long is it? Maybe not even the whole thing. It's pretty long. I don't think I can read the whole thing. Maybe I'll read... I'll just read until it feels like I've gone far enough, and I'll stop, and then we'll carry on tomorrow. So instead of skipping these poems outright, at least we'll give them a cursory read-through. So here we go. The Eve of St. Agnes. St. Agnes's Eve, bitter chill it was. The owl, for all his feathers, was a cold. The hare limped trembling through the frozen grass, and silent was the flock in woolly fold. Numb were the beadsman's fingers while he told his rosary, and while his frosted breath, like pious incense from a censer old, seemed taking flight for heaven without a death. Past the sweet Virgin's picture, while his prayer was saith, he saith. This is fun. His prayer, he saith, this patient holy man. Then takes his lamp and riseth from his knees, and back returneth, meagre, barefoot, wan, along the chapel aisle by slow degrees. The sculptured dead on each side seem to freeze, imprisoned in black purgatorial rails, knights, ladies, praying in dumb oratories. He passeth by, and his weak spirit fails to think how they may ache in icy hoods and mails. Northward he turneth through a little door, and scarce 3 steps ere music's golden tongue flattered to tears this aged man and poor, but no, already had his death bell rung. The joys of all his life were said and sung. His was harsh penance on St. Agnes Eve. Another way he went, and soon among rough ashes sat he for his soul's reprieve, and all night kept awake for sinners' sake to grieve. That ancient beadsman heard the prelude soft, and so it chanced, for many a door was wide, from hurry to and fro, soon up aloft. The silver snarling trumpets 'gan to chide. The level chambers, ready with their pride, were glowing to receive 1,000 guests. The carved angels, ever eager-eyed, stared where upon their heads the cornice rests, with hair blown back and wings put crosswise on their breasts. At length burst in the argent revelry, with plume, tiara, and all rich array, numerous as shadows, haunting fairly the brain, new stuffed in youth with triumphs gay. Of old romance these let us wish away, and turn, soul-thoughted, to one lady there, whose heart had brooded all that wintry day on love, and winged St. Agnes's saintly care, as she had heard old dames fully many times declare. They told her how, upon St. Agnes's Eve, young virgins might have visions of delight, and soft adorings from their loves receive upon the honeyed middle of the night. If ceremonies due they did aright, as supperless to bed they must retire, and couch supine their beauties lily white, nor look behind nor sideways, but require of heaven with upward eyes for all that they desire. Full of this whim was thoughtful Madeline, the music yearning like a god in pain. She scarcely heard her maiden eyes divine, fixed on the floor, saw many a sweeping rain pass by. She heeded not at all in vain. Came many a tiptoe amorous cavalier, and back retired, not cooled by high disdain. But she saw not, her heart was otherwhere. She sighed for Agnes's dream, the sweetest of the year. She danced along with vague, regardless eyes, anxious her lips, and breathing quick and short, her breathing quick and short. The hollowed hour was near at hand. She sighs amid the timbrels and the thronged resort of whispers in anger or in sport, mid looks of love, defiance, hate, and scorn, hoodwinked with fairy fancy all amort, save to St. Angus and her lambs unshorn, and all the bliss to be before tomorrow morn. So purposing each moment to retire, she lingered still. Meantime, across the moors had come young Pororo, with heart on fire for Madeline. Beside the portal doors, buttressed from moonlight, stands he, and implores all saints to give him sight of Madeline. But for one moment, in the tedious hours, that he might gaze and worship all unseen, perchance speak, kneel, touch, kiss, in sooth such things have been. He ventures in. Let no buzzed whisper tell, all eyes be muffled, or 100 swords will storm his heart. Love, fervilous citadel, for him those chambers held barbarian hordes, hyena foemen and hot-blooded lords, whose very dogs would execrations howl against his lineage. Not one breast affords him any mercy in that mansion foul, save one old bedlam, weak in body and in soul. Ah, happy chance! The aged creature came, shuffling along with ivory-headed wand, to where he stood, hid from the torch's flame, behind the broad, hard hall pillar, far beyond. The sound of merriment in chorus bland. He startled her, but soon she knew his face, and grasped his fingers in her palsied hand, saying, "Mercy, Pororo, hide thee from this place. They are all here tonight, the whole bloodthirsty race. Get hence, there's dwarfish Hildebrand. He had a fever late, and in the fit he cursed thee and thine, both house and land. And there's that old Maurice, not a whit more tame for his grey hairs. Alas me, flit like a ghost away. Ah, gossip dear, we're safe enough here in this armchair. Sit and tell me how. Good saints, not here. Follow me, child, or else these stones will be thy bier." He followed through a lowly arched way, brushed the cobwebs with his lofty plume, and as she muttered, well a day, he found him in a little moonlit room, pale, latticed, chill, and silent as a tomb. "Now tell me, where is Madeline?" he said. "Oh, tell me, Angela, by the holy loom, which none but secret sisterhood may see, when they St. Agnes's wool are weaving piously." "St. Agnes, ah, it is St. Agnes's Eve, yet men will murder upon holy days. Thou must hold water in a witch's sieve, and be liege lord of all the elves and fays. To venture so, it fills me with amaze. To see thee, Pororo, Saint Agnes Eve, God's help, my fair lady, the conjurer plays. This very night good angels her deceive. But let me laugh a while, I'll mickle my time to grieve. Feeble she laughed in a languid moon, while Pororo upon her face doth look, like puzzled urchin on an aged crone, who keepeth closed a wondrous riddle book. As spectacled she sits in chimney nook. But soon his eyes grew brilliant when she told his lady's purpose, and he scarce could brook tears at the thought of those enchantments cold, and Madeline's sleep in lap of legends old. Sudden a thought came in a full-blown rose, flushing his brow, and in his pained heart made purple riot. Then doth he propose a stratagem that makes the bedlam start. A cruel man and impious thou art. Sweet lady, let me pray and sleep and dream alone with her good angels, far apart from wicked men like thee. Go, go, I deem thou canst not surely be the same that thou didst seem. I will not harm her, by all saints I swear, quoth Pororo. Oh, may I never find grace when my weak voice shall whisper its last prayer, if one of her soft ringlets I displace, or look with ruffian passion in her face. Good Angela, believe me by these tears, or I will, even in a moment's pace, awake with horrid shouts my foemen's ears, and beard them though they may be more fanged than wolves and bears. Ah, why wilt thou affright a feeble soul, a poor, weak, palsy-stricken churchyard thing, whose passing bell may ere the midnight toll, whose prayers for thee each morn and evening were never missed? Thou plaining doth she bring a gentler speech from burning Pororo, so woeful and such deep sorrowing, that Angela gives promise she will do whatever he shall wish, bestride her weal or woe, which was to lead him in close secrecy even to Madeline's chamber, and there hide him in a closet of such privacy that he might see her beauty unespied, and win perhaps that night a peerless bride, while legioned fairies paced the coverlet, and pale enchantment held her sleepy-eyed. Never on such a night have lovers met, since Merlin paid his demon all the monstrous debt. It shall be as thou wishes, said the dame. All cates and dainties shall be stored there. Quickly, on this feast night, by the tambourer frame, her own lute thou wilt see, no time to spare. For I am slow and feeble, and scarce dare on such a catering trust my dizzy head. Wait here, my child, with patience, kneel in prayer, the while, thou must needs the lady wed, or may I never leave my grave among the dead. So saying, she hobbled off with busy fear. The lovers' endless minutes slowly passed. The dame returned and whispered in his ear to follow her, with aged eyes aghast, from fright in dim espials, safe at last. Through many a dusty gallery they gain the maiden's chamber, silken, hushed, and chaste, where Pororo took covert, pleased amain. His poor guide hurried back with Agnes in her brain, her faltering hand upon the balustrade. Old Angela was feeling for the stair, while Madeline, St. Agnes's charmed maid, rose like a missioned spirit unaware, with silver tapers light and pious care. She turned the down and aged gossip led to a safe level matting now prepared, young Pororo for gazing on that bed. She comes again, like ring dove frayed and fled. Out went the taper as she hurried in its little smoke in pallid moonshine died. She closed the door. She panted, all akin to spirits of the air, and vision was wide. No uttered syllable, nor woe betide. But to her heart was voluble, paining with eloquence her balmy side, as though a tongueless nightingale should swell her throat in vain and die, heart stifled in her dell. A casement high and triple arched there was, all garlanded with graved imageries of fruits and flowers and bunches of knot grass, and diamonded of panes of quaint device, innumerable of strains and splendid dyes, as are the tiger moth's deep damasked wings, and in the midst, among thousand heraldries and twilight saints and dim emblazonings, a shielded scutcheon blushed with blood of queens and kings. Full on this casement shone the wintry moon, and threw warm gulls on Madeline's fair breast, as down she knelt for heaven's grace and boon. Rose bloom fell on her hands together pressed, and with her silver cross soft and manifest, and on her hair a glory like a saint. She seemed a splendid angel newly dressed, saved wings for heaven. Pororo grew faint. She knelt, so pure a thing, so free from mortal taint. Anon his heart revives, her vespers done. Of all its wretched pearls her hair she frees, unclasp her warmed jewels one by one, loosened her fragrant bodice by degrees. Her rich attire creeps rustling to her knees, half hidden like a mermaid in seaweed. Pensive awhile she dreams awake, and sees in fairy fancy fair Saint Agnes in her bed, but dares not look behind, or all the charm is fled. Soon, trembling in her soft and chilly nest, in sort of wakeful swoon, perplexed she lays, until the poppied warmth of sleep oppressed, her soothed limbs and soul fatigued away, flown like a thought until the morrowed day. Blissful haven from both joy and pain, clasped like a minstrel, where swart Panagiums pray, blinded alike from sunshine and from rain, as though a rose should shut and be bud again. Stolen to this paradise, and so entranced, Pororo gazed upon her empty dress, and listened to her breathing, as if chanced to wake into a slumberous tenderness. When he heard that minute did he bless, and breathed himself, then from the closet crept, noiseless as fear in a wide wilderness, and over the hushed carpet silent stepped, and 'tween the curtains peeped, where, lo, how fast she slept. Then by the bedside, where the faded moon made a dim silver twilight, soft he set a table, and half anguished, threw thereon a cloth of woven crimson, golden jet. Oh, for some downy Morphean amulet, the boisterous sunlight, midnight festive clarion, the kettle drum, the far-heard clarinet, affray his ears, though but in dying tone. The hall door shuts again, and all the noise is gone. And still she slept in azure-lidded sleep, in blanched linen, smooth and lavendered, while he from forth the closet brought a heap of candied apple, quince, and plum, and gourd with jellies soothier than the creamed curd, and lucent syrups, tinct and cinnamon, manna and dates in argosy transferred, from fez and spiced dainties every one, from silken Samarcand to cedared Lebanon. These delicacies he heaped with glowing hand on golden dishes, and in baskets bright of wreathed silver. Sumptuous they stand in the retired quiet of the night, filling the chilly room with perfume light. And now, my love, my seraph fair, awake, Thou art my heaven, and I thine eremite. Open thine eyes, my meek Saint Agnes' sake, or I shall drowse beside thee, so my soul doth ache. Thus whispered his warm, unnerved arm, sank in her pillow, shaded was her dream. By the dusk curtains 'twas a midnight charm, impossible to melt as iced stream. The lustrous hours in the moonlight gleam, broad gold fringe upon the carpet lies. It seemed he never, never could redeem from such a steadfast spell his lady's eyes. So mused awhile, entoiled in woofed fantasies. Awakened up, he took her hollow lute, tumultuous, and in chords that tenderest he played an ancient ditty, long since mute, in Provence called La Belle Dame Saint Mercy. Close to her ear, touching the melody, wherewith disturbed, she uttered a soft moan. He ceased. She panted quick, and suddenly her blue affrighted eyes wide open shone. Upon his knees he sank, pale as smooth sculpted stone. Her eyes were open, but she still beheld, not wide awake, the vision of her sleep. There was a painful charge that night expelled, the bliss of her dream so pure and deep, at which fair Madeline began to weep and moan forth witless words with many a sigh, while still her gaze on Pororo would keep, who knelt with joined hands and piteous eye, fearing to move or speak, she looked so dreamily. "Ah, Pororo," said she, but even now thy voice was a sweet tremble in mine ear, made tunable with every sweetest vow, and those sad eyes were spiritual and clear. How changed thou art, how pallid, chill and drear. Give me that voice again, my Pororo, those looks immortal, those complaining dear. Oh, leave me not in this eternal woe, for if thou diest, my love, I know not where to go. Beyond a mortal man impassioned far, at these voluptuous accents he rose, ethereal, flushed and like a throbbing star, seen mid the sapphire heaven's deep repose. Into her dream he melted, as the rose blendeth its odor with the violet, solution sweet. Meantime the frost winds blows, like love's alarum pattering the sharp sleet against the window's pane. St. Agnes' moon hath he. 'Tis dark, quick pattereth the flaw-blown sleet. This is no dream, my bride, my Madeline. 'Tis dark, the iced gusts still rave and beat. No dream, alas, alas, and woe is mine. Pororo will leave me here to fade and pine. Cruel, what traitor could thee hither bring? I curse not, for my heart is lost in thine, though thou forsaketh a deceived thing, a dove forlorn and lost with sick unpruned wing. My Madeline, sweet dreamer, lovely bride, say, may I for aye thy vessels blessed, thy beauty shield, heart-shaped and vemoral, dyed? Ah, the silver shrine, here I will take my rest after so many hours of toil and quest. A famished pilgrim saved my miracle. Though I have found, I will not rob thy nest, saving of thy sweet self, if thou thinkest well to trust fair Madeline to no rude infidel. Hark! 'Tis an elfin storm from fairyland, of haggard seeming but a boon indeed. Arise, arise, the morning is at hand, the bloated vacillers will never heed. Let us away, my love, with happy speed. There are no ears to hear, no eyes to see, drowned all in Rhetian and in sleepy mead. Arise, arise, my love, and fearless be, for over the southern moors I have a home for thee. She turns at his words, beset with fears, for there were sleeping dragons all around, at glaring watch perhaps with ready spears. Down the wide stairs a darkling way they found. In all the house was heard no human sound. A chain-drooped lamp was flickering by each door. The arras, rich with horseman, hawk, and hound, fluttered in the besieging wind's uproar, and the long carpets rose along the gusty floor. They glide like phantoms into the wide hall, like phantoms to the iron porch they glide, where lay the porter in uneasy sprawl, with a huge empty flagon by his side. The wakeful bloodhound rose and shook his hide, but his sagacious eye and inanimate owns, by one and one that bolt full easy slide. The chains lie silent on the foot-worn stones. The keys turn and the door upon the hinges groans. And they are gone. Aye, ages long ago, these lovers fled away into the storm. That night the Baron dreamt of many a woe, and all his warrior guests with shade and form of witch and demon and large coffin worn were long be-nightmared. Angela the old died, palsy twitched, with meager face deform. The beadsman, after 1,000 I've told, for I unsought foreslept among his ashes cold. Wow. I've never been a fan of love stories, but maybe I've become one. When I first started studying Keats, I read his biography and about his writing, and I noted in passing that it's recommended to read Keats aloud. Now I know why. I feel like I've fallen over and I can't get up. I don't want to get up. Okay. But I have what I need to do. Let's do the good life. Last night and yesterday. I feel like I'm drunk, but not dizzy. Yesterday was a good day. Got everything done. No particular items that I was challenged on. The good life. 7 objectives. To be always ready to die. To make good and effective use of time. To develop and maintain good and sound life principles. To cultivate good emotional reactions. To perform good actions. To recognize true limits and true opportunity. Pardon me. And to do just one thing at a time. And do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully. My 34 principles are war, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, social principle, principle of family, public speaking, distraction, agency in the great indifference, the best seat in the house. Did I do temperance? Did I do Temperance the 7? Temperance. Life will not go well. The horror show. I think I did this. That which must be born. The Feast of Bohol. Yeah, I did. Distraction, Agency, and Great Indifference. The Best Seat in the House. Restless Man. Path of Wildness. Great Life Adventure. The Risk of Avoiding Risk. Sin and Damnation. Complete Oblivion. The Season of Philosophy. The Bullseye. Script Writing. The Bullseye Aim. The Uphill Climb. Arena and Utility. Nothing is Enough. For today, it's my day off. I'm going to do all this. Try to get back on my feet. I'll go to the beach to have a swim. And then I'm going to drive out and have lunch with my nephew. And then come home, have a nice dog walk with my wife, go to have dinner with my wife, go to bed. There was something I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. It's left my mind. Oh, I remember. It was to focus on recognizing what is and what is not within my control. That will be my refuge in the difficult meetings this week, is focusing on what is within my control, which is my reactions. My life story is done, and I am ready for death. My life work is complete. My relationships are sound, and my life's work is done, and my affairs are in order. I'm going to stop now. I'm bowled over by that poem. I can't seem to quite recover. And it's the best feeling. Now my life is done, if not finished. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.